Activating human potential. We have a greater potential than we are allowing ourselves to exist in. And this is how we activate it, using body, mind, and spirit, using your tools, voice, imagination, creativity, command prayer, questions, investigations, receiving activation. In these videos, I inspire you to explore your own investigations, solutions, and techniques, body, mind, and spirit, training you to actively create our new earth. What you speak, think, do, eat, grow, listen to, watch, feel, touch, appreciate becomes our future earth. We have the potential within us to create anything using our God-given body, mind, and spirit, using our imagination in a receptive state. Welcome to your next adventure. Today I'm going to do two different things because that's what I feel like doing. Two audacious things. What's new? We've got to do it. We've got to try it. Not try it. We actually have to believe in it. Just like if you sat down and wrote a story, that would be fine, wouldn't it? That's an energy. These are energy sessions. These are creating sessions. We are using what we have. We have imagination for a reason. We've been told it's nonsense and rubbish for a long time. Children's stuff, fairy tales. However, the very fact that it's been used as fuel to feed back into creating certain realities by those people we wanted to get rid of for a long time shows how powerful it is. Most of you know that concept. However, I'm reiterating it for the purpose of tonight. I want to go in and spook the whole of that underground base underneath Lahaina. I want to spook them, as I would say, spook the hell out of any humans working in there. I want them to be so spooked that they never set foot. They never want to set foot in that place again. I have no idea how to do that yet. I want to see it as a very silly exercise with a very serious purpose. The second thing I want to do is, we've talked about this grid of a certain awareness of frequency. And many of those people will be children, because children have very high frequency, and their souls will be part of that beautiful frequency grid, making up this uplifting portion and the not only an upliftment but a stabilization of the consciousness grid of our planet, so that we can move despite all the machinations of those leftover nasty dark forces that keep playing with their stupid toys, the directed energy weapons, I mean by that, and the harps and things of the world. So many of those will be children. However, I want to see if we can go specifically into the consciousness of all the human children and do something about a connection with the true earth. Because remember, we're all sitting in this situation where we have a true earth bubbling, trying to get through this overlay frequency holographic matrix, which has kept us suppressed. So we have this emergence of this new earth and the suppression with the technology, all the radiation that we know of, and other kinds of suppressions like the HARP technology, which is a kind of radiation too. And that's trying to keep down her energy, and her energy is naturally rising. I call her, let's just use it. Okay, it may be a he, but let's just go with a her for now. So this emerging frequency, getting rid of this dross that we don't want, the interference, this thing that skews our minds, that is hypnotic to us, that we absorb left, right, and center, even if we don't go near a phone or a television. And I want to see if we can boost something like a thread through of that beautiful earth energy to the children, because the children are so near to that. If you think about it, the age of their atoms the age of the time that their atoms formed is so much shorter than ours. Even if we do make our cells of our body every 30 days, I mean, not the whole body, bits of the body every 30 days, isn't it? Keeps this flow. However, for a child, they've had that less time in their body, so they have a much, the distance to the planet, the distance to the essence of energy, the carbon and all the other elements making up our bodies is shorter. So there should be the possibility of increasing the connection between the true energetic earth and the children. Now, what would that do? And why do I want to do it? 2 reasons. I want them more protected. So I literally want the children to be so that this horrific energy that is being pressed upon them is pinged off. Why have we not managed to do that so far? A child is an innocent being with a very high frequency. However, a child is under the influence of whatever adults it moves in the sphere of, because Steiner explained this very, very well. Let's say this is the mother and here's the child. The child is in the auric field of the mother, of the family, of the parents. Certainly in the first years, very strongly, and definitely it loses its frame of reference, it loses its power. However, it still goes on. You can always have that resonant connection to a parent. However, maybe Piaget said it was 7. That changes all the time. However, let's just say it's 7. A lot of people say it's the year of 7, is when that auric field is much more separate from the parent. But from 7 down to 0, and of course before in the womb, there is this huge entrainment field of the adults. So the state of the adults will affect the state of the child. If the child has enlightened parents of love, that child will be naturally full of protection. So we need to aim on this. No, drill down, focus into this. Why are the children not naturally in this high frequency? Because they are being influenced aurically by those people around them, and not only the people but also the atmosphere. So we need to do something else, and as the children are very, very close to source still, we should be able to override any negative frequencies around children so that there is a higher protection factor. It is not acceptable to just go, oh 2,000 children are missing in Lahaina. Oh, well, actually maybe it's 500 and they got incinerated in their cars. That is not acceptable to just owe it. We have to do something. We have to do lots of things. So that's the second part. Now, Carrie's going to be joining me, which will be interesting because we can take this adventure in 2 parts. She only knows a little bit of what I've outlined. I just want to go back one more thing to the children. The idea is, I want them connected more to the earth for the 2 reasons: the protection of themselves, to have a frequency around them that will prevent any harm to them. So if they can't get that from their immediate vicinity and environment, parental or otherwise, they get it from the earth energy, okay? Secondly, I want this interaction between the child and the earth energy to be strengthened, because those children have come in. The reason they've been born is they want to do something. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been interested in coming in as souls. They would have just waited in the waiting room. So to get this conscious connection between earth and child, which means a joy of nature, which means a child having resilience of all the technocracy, all this technological nonsense, that they will still reach for the pine cone, right? And the flower, and wonder at the butterfly on their finger. Because that's who they actually are. And they are the airbenders. Remember that film? They are the ones who know, who still retain the knowledge. I can change the weather. I can make that cloud move. If I talk to that plant, it will blossom more. Look at this little bee. It wants to say hello to me. Ah, the horse is talking to me. Children know this stuff, right? They talk to everything. They celebrate it. And it's us that kind of, well, not us, but the systems of the worlds that dilute it. I command my spirit to be inspired to know how to do this spooking that I want to go and do. So I understand that I need to be completely invisible as a human, as me, as a spirit, so that I'll call it protected. It's not really the word I want, but no one can in any way get to me. However, I want something. I want to be inspired to create something which will, yes, I got it, which will interfere. And I'm not going to say what it is yet because I want to reveal that to Carrie. I want to do 2 audacious things, and I reckon we can do this. And I just, in fact, done a good tarot spread for the first thing, which looks really good as well. Of course, I haven't tried any of these things before. Yes, looking good. I am very pissed off, let's say, about the Lahaina thing. With first it was 500 children burnt to crisps. Now it's 2,000 missing. And I don't like the fact some people are just saying, oh, it's just, it's just like, yes, they're mentioned in a sentence and that's it. Okay, so I don't like that. We have to work out ways that we make the impact of this bigger, that people, understand. So,
get it. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 2 strands that I want to work on. Okay. One is that I want to go into that base underneath Lahaina, and I want to spook the living daylights out of any human being working in there still. So I want to create, and I've got some ideas on how to spook them. I thought we could go and, if you want to do this with me, which I hope you do, we could go and play with the air conditioning system, with temperatures, changing the temperatures. We can create mini blasts of air, like little mini hurricanes, because of changing the temperatures in that base. So that imagine you're walking along a corridor thinking you're all safe and a nasty person doing whatever you're doing. And we can manipulate the temperatures within that space so that there is a sudden wind that comes and blows across you. I want to spook them, all those people. I want the human beings to never want to go into that base again. So I think the air thing could be really interesting. I made another, what was the other note? Yes, right. The other one. This is still the same thing. So the other thing I thought we could do is we could talk to the energy of the earth, the full vital earth energy that normally gets repressed and suppressed, and encourage it and somehow assist in a rumble beneath and around the base, so that there is a shaking, quaking that happens as well.
What about the remaining? Are there the remaining people? Aren't they going to get earthquake also?
Yeah, but more like this is all about scaring. I don't want to kill anyone. I just want to scare the living daylights out of them, because I want them to feel something and to be ashamed of who they are and what they've done, to be repulsed by who they are and what they've done, and to leave. So that's what I want to do with that. And the second thing,
how does scaring them make them repulsed?
Because the way I want to scare them is so that it looks, what is the word? Not spiritual. What's the word we use for when we talk about ghosts? That it looks like the paranormal. It looks like the stuff that they're representing. If they're on the occult.
Oh, it's a mirroring.
Yeah. So because they think they're working for their guy who isn't there anymore, the big dark honcho, right? They're still the minions of that. And even if they are scientists and believe that those occult situations don't exist, they would understand the general culture within those kind of bases to know that that's the ultimate base of belief within that group of people. So if you throw elements of their belief at them, that would really, I believe, create the fear, because it's almost they think they were in charge of that situation with dastardly means and occult means, both of them used. The direct energy weapons plus other energetic things will have been done in order to create that sacrificial system. But if we say we're using almost the same, we're not using the same powers, we're using completely natural powers and a bit of trickery, really, but to appear to them as though it's some spirits spooking them, because you'll always fear your dark master. You know, that's why they're with the guy, the dark master. Whether he exists or not anymore on the planet is another thing. But they got in that bad system through fear to start with. So if you that's their main operative. Whereas people like us, we don't walk through the world in fear. You know, we're in delight and joy and happiness and discovery and curiosity. And our alignment is to something that's infinite and big and surprising and delighting and growing, whereas theirs is the other thing. So if you get them kind of like, you know, jumpy, what's this, you're fighting them on with their tools almost, but done in a different way. The second one I wanted to do, because I think they're linked, and I'm sure we'll discover variations anyway, is that I was talking in the introduction about children. Normally, you know, as you know, a child is protected by the parents, aurically, spiritually, and physically. But if the parents don't have an elevated emotional frequency, then that child, of course, is in danger, because the auric influence from the parents is heavy on the child. And those are the ones that get burnt alive and taken and horrible things done to them, right? But because the child is nearer to source, we could, I believe, activate something else as a stand-in for incapacitated parents. So even if the children have been blasted with vaccinations and all kinds of stuff since they were born, they're still closer to source than the parents are. If we could activate talking to our vital earth energy and increase that connection to the children, so the kind of grid of consciousness of the children. All of the children being born right now, of course, are choosing to be here, or they wouldn't be born here. It's like, we're going to come in with all our skills and amazing beings and spiritual tools, and we're going to do something. And then, of course, they find themselves in a very, very low frequency. But if we can up the frequency grid of the earth to each child by a kind of conscious connection, by talking to the earth, we could do something, I believe, because I wouldn't have had the idea, basically, unless it's somehow possible. You know, you don't get ideas unless they're possible. Otherwise, they don't exist, because they're the representation. They're like a little focal keyhole to the actual thing. So those are what I want to do. What do you think?
I'm just going to throw this out there so I get it out of my head. I'm pretty sure you're going to nix it. But what I was thinking about the whole time was Lilith. I saw a video on her, and the guy was talking about her, saying she is the protector of the, you know, anything to do with the rights being taken away from people. She's a stand for justice, and she's pretty powerful, I guess. But I know you would say, well, we're just as powerful. We could do that stuff ourselves and have control over it. Right?
Well, to an extent, yes and no, because she's been coming up in my feed a lot today as well, which is interesting.
It is interesting.
And I do believe that that's because of the representation of the principle. The energy principle that she represents is important. However, where I'm going to do the nixing, sorry, but
that's okay. I just wanted to throw it out there because it was like,
no, I really, really love it. And I think it's really, really important. The only thing I want to say is, because you know yourself pretty well, I know myself pretty well. We know ourselves better than anyone else knows us. Okay. So that's as constant as we're going to get. You and I know of the essence of Lilith. We do not know her. We don't know what level of psyop she's been created on. We don't know her true divinity, her true purity, her true origin.
Intent.
Yeah. Any of that stuff. We like the ideas that you've got about her today, and that I picked up today from another piece of information. And that, you know, the rebel warrior, the no taking any bullshit type character is really important, because we have to be that. So
we can be inspired by that.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
That characteristic is part of all of us, and stand up and own it.
Yeah.
Because that's what seems to be what you're representing.
Yeah. And if we're going to go and cause mischief in an underground base, I mean, you know, Right.
You're ready.
Yeah, cashmere was just too warm. I got too excited. So
I want to tell you something.
yeah.
After we chatted and I got up to get ready, I got such a powerful surge of joyful energy. And I had to squeeze my muscles so tight to get all, dear God, I was saying, whoa, oh my God. And I was feeling to myself, seeing what I saw about that problem person in my life and seeing real alignment with you was powerful. It was clarity. It was like, well, okay, yeah, freedom, because I'm cleared out. Yeah, so cool.
And
so much energy.
So I think the first thing to do, we're going to go into our soul rooms, obviously, because that's where we got all our kit. We need to decide how we're going to appear in there. So in my introduction, I said that no one will be able to detect me. But I haven't created an image or an avatar or anything for myself yet. So I believe that we can do that if we do the countdown from 10. We're in our soul rooms now, and so you'll find any image to use, any costume to use, any tool to use. You decide how you want to appear in that place so that you feel utterly safe, utterly confident in your origin or source energy, that nothing can interfere with you, and that we have various tools that we can implement. So you decide how that's going to look and feel, sound, taste, touch, whatever. And once we got that sorted out, then I want to, well, who knows, but I would suggest we go there and have a look and then decide what specific things we're going to activate to start this kind of Halloween spooky thing. And see.
I have a question.
Do. Yes.
As I'm imagining, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to present myself as a scary being. Isn't that what they do, though, to us? Are we supposed to do the same thing to them and start acting that way?
So I'm not going to present myself as a being at all. All I'm going to be is imagine you're just walking along with a lot of papers, right, from room A to B, and you got your lab coat on, you got your glasses, and you're moving from, block A to block B. I want to be the wind that makes this thing blow all over her face. That's what I want to be. I want to freak her out that way. I'm going to be completely invisible. I want to be the little whirlwind that just rumbles past her. That kind of thing.
The first thing I came up with, Glenda the Good Witch, and I'm like, she's not very scary. Wait, that's who I'm trying to personify. I just need more hair and the right wand and a pretty sparkly dress.
Well,
anyways,
that could be scary for those people who, who are
I've come to wipe you out, darlings.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, bring your attention to it, because I think just walking into a base is perhaps not right unless we give ourselves some preparation. Whatever you feel and think about it is what you have to deal with, and the same for me. And so therefore I think a little bit of preparation is a good idea.
So how do we what do we say that they can't read our frequency if they have that technology down there?
For example,
that they can't pick up our frequency.
Yeah.
You just say, you can't pick up our frequency.
If you could have a decision like that. You could have a piece of kit you design. You could have, a cloaking device. You could have a suit. You could have a transponder thing on your wrist that makes you go, whatever you want. You design that. And then I think what we're also going to do in our soul room before we go is we'll find each of us maybe 3 different tools that we can use, and they can be funny. Fun is good. It's good to have fun and silly and funny. And we're going to be using, like Doctor Who's sonic screwdriver, for example. That's a very clever little tool that does a lot of stuff, and it's quite silly, but it's quite brilliant. So we're going to have 3 tools of some kind. They don't need to be like, a hammer and chisel. They can be other kinds of tools, but we're going to find those. They may be just other abilities. Remember, we don't know the
How about a laser?
It could be. I mean, we we are only just touching the little tiny surface pinprick of what our souls are. So there may be so many bizarre things. You might turn into an elephant. I don't know. You know, I like elephants. That would be a funny joke for me to just suddenly materialize as an elephant in the middle of a corridor, you know, or whatever. I mean, it might be that we turn into things or whatever. I just want the imagination wide open so that,
Oh my goodness.
okay, so we're going to count down from 10. We're going to find ourselves in the soul room. You decide whether you're going to find these in a book, on a tray, in a chest of drawers, hanging on the wall, from the ceiling. That's up to you. Or in
My
your
tools,
hand.
and the tools are going to protect me and provide the perfect
Spooky tools.
what?
So,
Sneaky
for
tools?
example, I want tools that I can use with the air conditioning system, with the vent system, and with the thermometer system in that building.
If the vent system got all backed up. I kept thinking, what if it got super hot down there? I mean, they
Yeah.
burned the hell out of Lahaina, you know? Lasers, heat this place up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're like, what's wrong with the air conditioning?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not very scary, really.
But it is if it's if you don't have any control on it, and if, let's say, it's very hot and then it's suddenly very cold, that's weird. And then it's normal, and then the next half hour it's very hot and it's very cold and still no one knows what's going on, and then another half hour it's very hot, it's very cold. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? And then you start really playing. Do you see? You set up a sort of a situation where the doubt would come in, and then that sense of unease. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going. What? Yeah. And until you get to that level, because when you are in that space, you meet guilt. Because doubt and guilt are hanging around in the same zone, and we want them to reach guilt, spook to reach guilt, to activate them to leave and go. Okay, right. We're going to
I'm
go.
not used to thinking this way. I have to admit, I'm not used to thinking this way. So my mind's a little jumbled. Like, what?
Yeah, but you always say that, and then you come up with genius. And I've told you that before, but she's just
because
being.
you convinced me to let it go wild. Okay.
Yeah, it's just,
All right.
we're creative beings. That's what we are. End of story. Right. That's why.
Okay.
Okay. Right. I'm going to count us in. We're going to appear in our soul room, and you're going to little look around, and then you're going to get your tools, and then we'll talk about what they are. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What have you found?
Just like Superwoman, a brunette. So they'll never recognize me. They'll think it's Superwoman. And we are, right? We are Superwoman.
Yeah. I gave a quote this morning to a certain friend of ours, and it was even superheroes are human beings.
Oh,
So there
I
we
love
are.
it.
Now, good. So has she got any tools that she can use, this lady?
Well, she just pulled out a gold star, like a ninja star.
Right. Is that like a wand? You
She
can
throws
do
ninja stars.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Carrie Star.
Yeah. Ninja
But
star.
they'll never know it's me.
Yeah. Cool. Good.
And these ninja stars can do anything I tell them to do.
Yeah, they can kind of take direction and move around, and they've
Go
got
create a fog, go create a freeze zone, go interrupt the heating system.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
I've just worked out what my thing is. I couldn't really see objects, and the only object I saw was a Darth Vader helmet, and I thought that's a bit weird. But the thing about the Darth Vader helmet was, when you lifted it off in the movie, and you suddenly realize it was just that horrible brain. So in other words, there's nothing in it that you expect. So what I realized my tools are literally, I'm just going to be using stuff that's there to be my tools. So whether it's like, Teflon oven gloves in the laboratory, or a spray can, or things that are there. So I'm almost like a poltergeist type ability. So
Yeah, I love that. I had a great idea. Who is the name of that goddess with all the arms that is as close to Callie as you can get without being Callie? She's got
ooh,
all the arms. She rides a lion. Pavarati? No. Is that it? No.
Parvati.
The one with all the arms.
That's not Lakshmi. Well, Lakshmi's got lots of arms, but she's the goddess of all the abundance, isn't she?
She's the one that
Lots
rides a
of arms.
lion, and she gets very ferocious, but not to the extent of Callie.
Okay. Okay.
She's like one step away. She's just riding the borderline.
So
I think I should be her.
okay, that's cool. Are you going to be riding a
Come in
lion?
on my lion.
Yeah, on a lion is a cool thing.
Vengeance is mine, says the goddess.
I like that the lion kind of galloping along the corridor. That would be very cool. And the thing is that people won't see it, but they'll see it for a split second, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like whoosh.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, I like that.
Okay.
So I'm
I'm
invisible, but I can pick things up and do stuff, and I'm using the air. That's what I've chosen as my tool. So lifting, pressure, different, if you can change the pressure of the air, you can change things. And so that I can turn knobs, I can twiddle things. I would like to find another tool that I can do some digital art, some kind of I've got a crystal. That's right, good. So the crystal, it's a weird, I don't know how crystals can be magnetic, but it is. So I can stick it on a computer system, and I can use my thought to program the computer system. Nice.
I love that.
Yeah, I like it too. Brilliant. Now, let's just have a look around. Let's just make sure on your persona self that you're completely ready, that everything about you is all perfectly ready to go into battle.
Krishna's coming with me.
Okay, good. You got a friend. All right. Is he in his blue self?
Yes, he's riding the lion with me. It's a big lion.
Well, he's good with the wind, so that's good.
Yes. Ooh.
I have one of my guides is called Running Wind, and he always thinks it's funny. It's actually part of my soul, but he's
Running Wind.
Running Wind. He's American Indian, but it just thinks it's funny because it is funny. Okay, right. Now we are going to fly in. I don't know. We can choose to go through the soil, or we can fly in through the entrance. What would you rather?
Well, let's fly in through the entrance.
Okay, cool.
I like flying.
Good. So, are you equipped to fly as well? Can you do that with your lion and so on? You can kind of roar through the air.
Maybe I'll be Superwoman first.
Yeah, would be. You can also, the lion, it could be like an Aslan that can gallop through the air into there. So it's as long as you get there. That's all I wanted to ascertain.
Yes, of course. Should we hold hands?
Yes.
Fly in?
Good idea. Good. And
right.
yes, you can't really see me, but I can kind of tickle you. Yes. I'll just tickle you with air that makes you ooh. Right.
I'm coming in with this big grand presence, and you're invisible. That's all I can imagine. Like, I could be invisible. I'm going to just be a swoosher.
It's
just a swoosher.
It's just to do with my astrology. Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay. Right. We're going to do a 3, 2, 1, and we're going to be at the entrance. Okay. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Whoosh. Right. Ooh. Okay. I would like to slowly pad with your lovely lion to the main control room with all the air shafts. So why don't we do a little psychic hop through the building to find ourselves in that main central, I don't know what floor it's going to be on or anything. It's probably one of these 12-story deep places, no doubt. So if we keep holding hands for now, and I'll do a 5 to 0, and when we get to 0, we'll be at least in the vicinity of that place. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 now. Right. Okay. So, yep. A fair humming bank of stuff. Very large. I can hear a kind of the way a computer, it's not a purring, but that kind of frequency pitch you can hear.
Yes, technology, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, is there anything you're drawn to? I know what I'm drawn to. Is there anything you find you are looking at that you want to flow?
Well, I find myself being Superwoman sitting there with my lion and you. And all I can imagine is like who's the guy with the mini me, the evil guy. Anyways, the great big round enormous room with all the computers, great big screens on the front, everybody busy working around in a circle with all their computers. That's what I imagine. What do you imagine?
Okay, so I'm in a kind of I think there was a movie that had this sort of bank of, oh yes, it was one of those the AI comes alive type movies. But so I mean, like there are like a library where you get rows of books, the really big libraries in the States where they go way up to the top because it's all the reference stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like these big rows and it's just the hummy computer stuff. So I'm at the edge of that room that you can see. I like this hidden thing. So I'm like back in the second row from the back of these computer banks. And my first impulse is to put my crystal on there and then the next impulse was to talk to you and see what kind of silly things. Do you remember what we did with the 3-letter agency, putting in all that love into their system? Yeah,
I don't really remember, but that's funny.
I would love to have something that is a bit like, oh my God, when I was in hospital as a child, age 7, I told you when I was there for weeks or whatever it was, how long I was there in this hospital bed. And every morning at 6 o'clock, they would play this stupid radio. And there was this silly thing that used to go, oh, right. Okay. I want to put something like that into their system. So they turn their computers on. A whole bunch of really stupid little phrases like from Charlie Brown or something, just like they turn the computer and this sort of nonsense comes out of them.
I'm just like focusing on this whole thing. This is like strange,
Okay, so I've just put that in like a little bug. It's gonna have to worm its way through the system, but it'll come through in little blips and people go, what? Okay, so that's a little blip thing that I put in just from my personal.
I am creating, I'm flying around in a circle, creating a vortex. So the pillar of light comes through and floods the place with light, and they all get blissed out. But that may be antithetic to what you're doing.
Well, yes, but maybe they don't then touch their computers anymore, and that's a good thing because we can then get into mischief because they won't be noticing it. So, these are the people with the computers with the blippy lights and the stuff. They've got to pay attention to all the screeny stuff. There's plenty of other really despicable things going on in other spaces, levels, and zones. And
White Tara is in the middle of the pillar, and she's naked, and they're all going, "What the look? What is that?"
You're putting on a pole dancing show in the middle.
They're just so mesmerized by this beautiful, powerful goddess energy of sensuality that is pristine and perfect and sacred. And they're like, what the?
Like Venus in her shell. Okay, I like it. And like, duh. The mouths are hanging open, like at the
White Tara. It's like all men are in service of her. They can't resist.
Okay, so we got her very nicely installed. That's great. Now we've got to get. Now they're mesmerized and suzzled. We now see how we can get these. So I've got all these dials. I have no idea what they're doing, of course, because they're not really my kind of cup of tea. But I will. Let's see if I can just call in. I need to call in a technical expert. Command Prem Creator, give me access to someone, some essence that will understand the technology here, that can actually take this crystal I've got, take these funny wind hands that I've got, and move all of this machinery so that we can set up what the intention was, were pockets of hot air, pockets of cold air, crazy little wind vortexes because of the vacuum. We want little mini hurricanes to be set down those corridors because of the changes in air temperature. We want doors to be slamming shut because of the sudden northern breeze.
Dust.
We want dust to be circulated up. That's good, because there will always be dust a little bit in these kind of places, no matter how many automated vacuum cleaners they have in there. And we want sometimes the sprinklers to come on because the temperatures are too high. And then we want the temperatures to change down so that then the sprinklers that are coming are shockingly cold because the environment in the corridor is suddenly really cold. So going from this crazy hot to crazy cold, mostly these crazy little bursts of wind, which I really love the idea of. Basically a whole tantrum of poltergeist spooking. And I want that not only on this floor that we're on, I want it throughout all the floors, except if there are any children in that place, we are going to go and have a look and see if we can do anything to help them. How would you feel about that?
Great. Just
A bit
lead
traumatic.
into what you want me to focus on, okay?
Okay, but just be prepared because it might be horrific, because a friend of mine just saw a lot of it yesterday. So I would put like shades on that will prevent you from seeing horrors, or a special cape or something, so that you are not going to be hurt by this experience, because it's potentially immensely if we, you know, there may be something awful. So I would just want to caution you to prepare yourself, and there may be something we can do for any children. So I'm just going to talk to God, right? I command Prime Creator, take us, Carrie and myself, in this particular guise we have chosen, to where any children may be in this space, and enable us to do helpful things there. Things which will benefit the children, things which will do the opposite to those working on or with them. Give us the ability to in some way soothe, some way help, assist any children we find in this place. Okay, I'm going to count down from 10 and then we're going to see where we are. Okay, you ready? Do you want to hold my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'll tell you what I see. I see about 12 children who I think they're dead because they're just lying still on the floor and they're kind of wrapped in something like a simple towel. And my instinct was to get them to their parents. So I don't think there is life in them, but I wanted to bring them to their parents. And I think we might be able to do it somehow with a gurney and an elevator in some way, because if we can, I can push buttons with this ability I've got to move things around. Imagine if a trolley with these little ones on was to appear on the entrance level of this space. I think they may well be detected in that way. What are you seeing and feeling and thinking?
That we create all kinds of magic non-detection devices that they will ignore us and will be stealth.
Good.
And unseen.
Okay.
Is that possible?
I don't know how, yes. No, I don't know how we're going to pick them up. I think, how can we get them onto the trolley? So I saw a trolley and I saw the little ones. Are you able to with your body, or is that too much to ask of you? Or could you ask Krishna to do that? I think he could do that for us. We need a body to pick them up. Because I didn't bring mine.
I'm imagining it right now, so.
Yeah, I just saw that funny blue character with his beard, putting them on the trolley. Okay. Now, I'm only looking in this direction. I'm just going to now, I'm not sure I want to, but I'm just going to turn around in this room because it seems to be quite large and just see, yes, okay, it's not nice. I wonder, what do we need to do? Yes, I know what we need to do, Carrie. I don't want you to even look there.
Okay.
I want to go back to the computer system before we leave. And there are surveillance cameras in every room, of course. And I want to be able to somehow get the images from that space so that it can be released. Okay. Not at large, but at least be noted and seen, and somehow find its way to some authorities which are good. or able to discharge justice. So I don't really want to describe anything other than to say it is nothing anyone would ever want to see. So let's just
Okay.
get these little babies and let's just take them so that we have a chance of at least that. I don't even know if the parents are still around, but of course there will be family, because so many of the parents were also, disappeared, weren't there?
How old are these babies?
Well, they're kind of small. I see them, length.
Less than a year, less than 2 years?
Oh no. Sorry, I'm using babies for small children. So I'm seeing sort of between kind of 3 and 7,
Okay.
sort of maybe even 10, little 10-year-olds, that kind of length, because they're just lying there.
Okay.
And I think that they were mostly just little dark-haired ones. I think there's a little blondie one, a couple of little Asian-looking children, and so we just take. All right. I press the elevator, so we can just follow in there with them into the elevator, and I think there's a key. I don't know what it is. No, I'm going to use my crystal again because I think it's like a codey thing. So that we can go all the way to the top, to the entrance, or near enough. And let's do that in with 5, okay? Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 now. Okay. Now, Krishna just pushing them out there. Just pushing them out. And let's see. Actually, I almost see some sunlight, but that's, it's all going to be cordoned off. I mean, there's no way anyone is going to, normal people are not going to know about the entrance to this place. It'll be, the normal holographic screen over the entrance of these things. However, they will, I just don't like the idea of leaving these babies in the sunlight, because if they haven't been dead for very long, I don't want them to bloat or anything. I want them to be looked after. How are we going to get them? How are we going to get them immediately recognized and brought to any relatives? I don't want to make it worse. I don't want to make it worse. Have you got any ideas?
Oh, I was thinking that they were taken during the event and that they were, killed by the laser heat recently. That's what I was thinking. But
yes, I know. But if we've got them near the outside and the warm summer August temperature, I want their bodies to be sacrosanct and not because everybody bloats when they're dead, don't they, because of the bacteria in the gut. So I would like them to be found instantly. It's basically what I want to do. Okay, we can deliver who can we deliver a message to? I wonder if there's only bad authorities in there, or whether there are any good authorities yet in that area. I should have checked this. I didn't check it, whether it's being controlled by only bad authorities or whether any. Right, the guy. Did you see the video with Fish?
No.
Okay. So Fish is a man in his, I would say, late 60s, early 70s, originally, I think, from the mainland USA, but has lived in Lahaina for about 20 years odd, maybe on and off, but mostly kind of camping. He has he preaches the Gospels. He's very interested in spirituality and Christianity, and seems to have a lovely wisdom. And he was talking to that property agent guy who has a channel, and he's doing his best to do lots of beautiful good in Lahaina. And Fish was telling his story of how he had been walking along the cars, seeing all the people in their cars wanting to go. And anyway, he was in the situation that he saw the head of the car blockade, and there was a policeman telling them that they weren't allowed to drive. So he was preventing them to move. And Fish went back to his campsite, and so he was fine. When he started to see the fires, he just moved away, walking pace. He wasn't driving. And of course, all of those drivers were killed in their cars. And he felt very horribly responsible because he felt like he should have done something.
Left them there. He should have shot the policeman. he deserved to be shot, you
I
know.
shot the sheriff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Because it probably wasn't a human anyway. It was probably one of those hybrid things.
A bot.
But so the idea I had was it would be lovely. Well, I mean, not nice for fish, but if we could have him wander down and he will discover them. And so he could alert, and then it won't be authorities, it will be people who come and get those little ones. Yes.
So do they all know where the base is?
I don't know if they do. I don't think they do, but he's good at following his intuition. So we can talk to God to give him the intuition to wander down to the cove where the base entrance is. Because most of these entrances, as you know, they're just holographically closed so no one can see them. You know, you don't know where they are. That's the deal.
Until you hit the magic button or the code or the frequency, something.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
And then you can see it. Yeah.
So
you probably have a badge that sets it off or something.
Who knows? Yeah, probably.
You just swiped a badge, right?
Or frequency. And if we have been playing with those computer systems, and we're going to go back into that base in a moment just to do that a bit more messing. But it could also alter the cloaking. So if we contact fish now, command Prime Creator, please alert fish to go walking in that direction and keep him safe so that he can then find these little ones, find other adults who can help him, hopefully find some of the parents, and at least bring some possibility of uniting with these little ones, some kind of relief of some kind. And of course that might also help with where they come from, and to reveal more. And I think we need to quickly, or I do, if you want to come with me, go back into the base to mess with their cloaking systems, so that at least, even if it's only flash on and off, it is possible to be discovered, so that he can find these little ones. So I'm just gonna can I hold your hand, because I think it's good if we stick together on this.
Okay.
We just walk back into, so the gurney is just in the shade. I don't want it in the full sun, as I said, so just sort of it's visible, but just so they're protected. We can also see if we can get some cool air in that front, because we're in charge of the air conditioning system, so that would be good. And we walk back in. We're going to have to take ourselves back into that space where the White Tower is still entertaining those gentlemen and ladies. And
they all have erections.
You're the right person to do this with. And we go into that space, and we're going to just mess a little bit with that control system of the whatever cloaking system for the entrance. And I want to get some cool air coming. So let's go. We're going to do a count of 5, and we're going to be there on the 0. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. Can you just keep an eye on your creation? Check that it's still nicely in play for a bit, and I'll just see if I can twiddle with this system and that element that was going to help me with all the technology. I want to create that cooling in the entrance and a decloaking at the entrance, so that these children can be discovered, and that actual people are alerted to this, actual real human beings, some of the relatives and the family, so that the children, these very few, can be brought back into the bosom of the family and loved and cared for as they should be, with love and honor and respect. And we are going to let this play out with the spook system. I've kind of run out of energy on any more to do here. Is there anything you would like to introduce into the system while we're still here?
In the room with the children, let's put pain relief.
Oh my God, yes. And the other thing I had to do was to broadcast the information. It was the cameras. We have to get the cameras to the right people. Okay. TLS. Let's, the light system people. Let's somehow, I don't know how, I want to wire up the camera closed circuitry system so that TLS can access it. and gain the footage so that it can be used in the prosecution and the prevention and the changeover. I don't know how we're going to do that. Any ideas?
I was waiting for you to tell me what to imagine because I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how technology works.
No.
So somebody's going to just receive this file of information, or maybe it'll show up like, you know,
like a
an
hackable
email.
signal, like a hackable signal. Oh, an email. I don't know how to get, we'd have to go into the computer system to make it generate an email. But if it was, let's say if the system was firewalled, so it was unhackable, and then we remove something or damage something so that suddenly the firewall doesn't exist and it can be hacked into. That could work. So imagine
can we
if
see a button? Can we see a big button and say this
well,
is
we will have to make the
it.
big button because they don't have the big button because they have all their stuff,
Yeah,
you know.
we just imagine it and say this is the button that will do all this.
Our button could be like an electromagnetic frequency that makes that kaput. So that
we put our hands on it and put our intention
let's
through
do
the
that.
button.
Okay, we'll do a 5 to 0, and the two of us put our hands on this big fat red button. And what's
going to happen? Give me the details.
It releases a electromagnetic frequency which bursts the firewall, which is the computer protection system, where hackers can't get through. This particular burst of energy frequency is going to interrupt that. So people who were monitoring this place will suddenly have, it's like, oh, it's down, we can get in. That's what's going to happen. Does that make sense?
Can we tone?
Yes. And let's do 5 tones. Okay, that's cool. Instead of counting, and then we press a button. Are you cool with that?
Well, I mean a tone of power to send the frequency through powerfully.
Okay.
The interrupter signal, it adds to the frequency.
Okay, so let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and when we get to the 1, then we make the sound. Yes?
Okay.
Good. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm just matching with you. I mean, harmonizing.
Okay. Right, let's leave that place for now because it's not a very nice place. And let's fly back to our place. Yes, we've done a little bit of interference, which is good. Let's just go back to our soul rooms. I'll count 10 and we'll be back there, and then we're going to do this thing for the children. You good?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. You can leave your white Tara there. I think that's hilarious. Okay. It's like Venus de Milo in the center for me. I can see her. It's like she changes from a sort of the kind of Indian version, the sort of Eastern version of White Tara to then the Venus de Milo. She's like morphs between the two. It's really funny. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. Okay.
Now where are we?
Back in our soul room. Okay.
Did we give pain relief to all the children?
No, I did not do that because they were not capable of sentience.
Oh, all right.
They were already basically gone.
Oh, okay.
So it was just
I got it.
Yeah. So
okay, back in the soul room.
Right. There may have been some, I didn't ask any. We went to go to the place where there were children. I mean, I suspect quite a lot of them were taken somewhere else too. That's generally used to happen in those things, didn't it? Those inter-race agreements of human being delivery. So I think that's maybe why we didn't find any who were alive or weren't taken to the alive ones. So I'm not sure about that, but maybe we can go back because it was just quite tiring for me to do that. So I thought, okay, I just need to just sort of stop there. I'm just going to take a quick little light shower. And I'm just going to do that with some sound. Are you going to go into your beautiful pillar of light shower? Are you going to do that?
I'm already doing it,
Of
Sonia.
course you are. Okay.
I'm showering you.
Yeah, right. It's good to just clean all that off because
Mhm.
right. Oh, oh my goodness, I'm tired. Okay, I think I need to do the earth thingy tomorrow. I think I'm a little tired now because it's
What thing? The
been
other
an
part? What
hour.
was it?
So that is to activate the grid of the true earth for the children's consciousness with the children's consciousness to kind of merge and meld and knit them together to enable the children to have a greater withstanding power against anything negative leveled towards them. And also they'll become more superannuated, that's interesting, sort of activated in their families so that their soul power will be more expressive and be able to slightly help the adults around them, but they also, the children themselves, won't be so oppressed. So it's the true nature of the child with the true nature of the planet. So nature and nature coming together and strengthening and supporting each other. So I think that could be done in a rather beautiful way. And if you're not available tomorrow, it'd be nice to do when you are available, because I think it'd be a lovely thing to, I think we'll come up with some really beautiful, juicy stuff for that. But yeah, I just think it's probably a bit long for me now.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, how do you feel?
Fine.
Good. Okay.
I didn't really go into any darkness. I just don't visualize as easily as you do. I'm not like so receptive. I'm always creating with my imagination.
Yes, but so am I. I made a willpower decision to turn around in that room. So I got an impulse, an intuitive impulse that it was a possibility I could. Then I made the decision and then I did it. So it's taking steps, because remember, because I do this for a living, where you make a script, where you make a story in this way. So it's a thing that you deliver to someone else. So all of those stages are, you get a download and you flow, and then you have another thought and a consideration, and then you have another download and a flow. So I'm used to doing that process. So yeah, so you can, it's like punctuating it with little pieces of willpower guided by intuitive impulse. So yeah, it's not, I wouldn't want anyone to see that anyway. So, and it's not, I only saw it very briefly, just sort of conceptually almost, just yeah, lots of stuff is there. So there we are. Now just check all around you. I'm going to do that too for me. Just check your back. It's often in the back that we have little bits of stuff left and stuck on us and everything. Just sort of make sure you're completely beautiful and clear and carryish. And I'll be Isabellish. I just wrap myself in that yummy apricotty pink stuff, just like a Disney, well, not a Disney, of course we don't like Disney, but anyway, like an animated self-drying, like a cloth flannel towel that just rubbing around me gently with this yummy color, just anything that's left on me, little particulates, just it's all just gently kind of washed off. Yummy. Okay, that's good.
That's nice.
Yeah. All right. I think that was something we can do, and we'll keep a little eye on it and see if there's more that we can bring about, because there are a lot of people working on this in lots of different ways, and I think we just have to keep on the case of these kind of things, because it's so under the radar for so many people, as you know, and other people know exactly what's going on, well, you know, as exactly as you can, intentionally what's going on. So we just need to kind of keep on the case, so that it becomes.
I'm busy praying. I'm like I'm imagining and asking all the ascended masters to help us with this very important work, and to help make our wishes come true and our commands come true, and to lead fish to the children, and to expose everything about this, to add their energy, and throughout the whole earth, let's put the entire grid focused on this mission of ours.
Yeah.
of all of ours.
Yeah.
This is the key event, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And Mother Earth herself wants this.
We didn't activate the earthquakey thing, but she's probably going about it herself. Mm.
Like whatever they can do to bring this whole thing to an end in and to end and what's going on over there in the underground places, and bring it all to justice and to the light, so that everyone knows what's going on, and this cannot proceed any longer on the earth.
Mm.
Help us to do that. And thank you, thank you, thank you for all your assistance.
Mm.
And it is done.
The
I
little
get
girl
it.
I
It's done.
spoke
I have huge goosebumps right now.
well, the little girl I spoke to a few days ago, called Shania, who had passed over, and she said she was waiting for her nana. She's hugging her nana, so I think her grandma is still alive.
Mm.
And that's where she was hanging around for a bit. And she called them the wizards, the dark wizards. They're doing their thing of this, she said, catastrophizing. Anyway, she was just present when you were saying that, which I thought was, and I thought maybe that was the goosebumps you felt, her.
Well, it could be.
Little 11 or 12-year-old girl, dark hair.
Is her nana going to pass over soon? Was she caught up in this mess?
I don't think she was harmed, but I mean physically,
She's
but
just elderly.
emotionally, so she may pass over soon. I don't know. But
Mm.
she was, yeah, I mean, she was just deeply upset at the loss of her little one. So yeah,
Aw.
the little girl was comforting her.
Thank you, Shania, for all you did.
Hmm. Hmm. And yes, like you said, I really loved it. There are many, many people working on this, that all of these collective prayers and inputs weave together. That it's like many, many fingers holding it up, and all these beautiful souls who are knowing that this is the turning point, this is the changing moment, this is the time to stretch our essence and extend into these fields, these realms of the invisible, and truly uplift and work with the divine in the presence of our intelligence, our emotion, and also our physicality, bringing this down into earth and absolutely finding a way to create the finish line here. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Woof, woof, woof. Yes, tingle all over my head. Yep.
I love this work we're doing together. It really activates me.
Yeah. Thank you, Carrie. You're such a sweet woman to work with. You're just fun and lovely and loving and good and intelligent.
Ditto. I always want to make change by positive love, like flooding with love, so that they awaken to like, look what I'm missing. I'm focusing on darkness and evil and fear, and I could be with white Tara. It may not be that effective. I'm not sure.
No, it
That's
is.
why
It
I'm
is.
looking
It is. This is what I did with that alligator with who'd been haunting my mother for all her life. So
yeah.
I had the conversation with him and his weird ghostly friend, who said, no, the ghostly black one, like a dementor, said, no, I'll just go in a portal. That's fine. Because he was so little, there was no soul in that guy. But the alligator guy still had some sort of sense about him. He's, and he said, no, okay, I'll take that option, which was, I asked Source if we could present this reptilian being with the image. So when I mean image, I mean as in feeling as well as an image of himself as his original source code, his original being before he degraded and contorted. And I explained to this entity that that may well, of course, cause it's most likely that he would just disintegrate in that moment, because that's such a high essence, but it may still allow him that one split second moment of redemption to possibly retain that essence rather than to just be dissolved into source. And he chose that one, which I loved, because it meant that he was reaching for the divine at that moment, with the possibility of total dissolution, but at least there was a chance, there was a hope. So I thought that was rather beautiful. So I think
we should go around with vaccines for all those evil reptiles and give them the new shit we got. The new, genetic coding that allows us to have souls and connect with the divine, supposedly, as the story goes.
Yeah, well, most of them will just collapse in a little puddle. They'll mostly melt. I melted. Actually, could do that witch even better. It's like, yes, that one. From the Wizard of Oz. If we did that,
what if we can create the future?
Sorry.
What if we can create the future and they don't want to die and they're trying to turn us into them? Why don't we turn them into us, even though they don't think it's possible and we don't think it's possible? Maybe it'll be possible.
Yeah,
if we believe it.
It will, because that's exactly what's going on, isn't it? It's they're trying to do this and we're saying nah, and it's how powerful are we saying nah? That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea is that most people say there's going to be this bit that goes over here and this bit that goes in here. But what about if we can go, no, we're all going over here? But the point is that I think most of those guys, that if we did that with a soul instruction, it would be like the soul template. We inoculate them with their original soul template. Most of them would poof into nothingness, because the contrast would make that existence unstable instantly. But that little reptile who'd been spooking my mother for all this time went for that option, which I thought was great, because it's better than total annihilation, disintegration into the compost bin. There was a chance of a reconnection to an original personality, essentially, an original soul essence. So I like your idea, and I have a feeling we should do it.
I just thought of something to make $1 million billion. Okay, maybe not a billion. We create a button that you can, and it's Earth reset or something like that. You hit it every day.
Esther Hicks had one of those. She made these buttons. You could put. She had them. I don't know where she, Mattel or something. And she put it on her dashboard, and she could just press it whenever she felt good.
Or frequency reset, just intention, and because you have to hold your frequency 17 seconds to make it manifest, right? So I don't know, something that goes off for 17 seconds, or your favorite song. That would be great. Earth reset, bam.
Well, why don't you work on something in between?
Rid the cabal, bam. Transform the earth, bam. Okay. Yeah. I better let you go, huh? You're tired. Thank you so much.
But the BAM thing is so brilliant, because it's like you're just introducing energy. There's like, when we have high energy, our auric field, the Torah, just goes boom, doesn't it? If we move from peace to joy, it'll literally go, it'll jump meters, whatever. So it's that kind of, it's not what people say the quantum leaping is, but it's as quantum leapy as you can get, isn't it? It's just like saying good energy, with intention, with total knowing. It's not a hope. It's like, of course, definitely knowing the button.
You could have a set of 3: earth reset, frequency reset, angelic beings, 50 more.
Oh my God. 100%. Okay. Oh, let's give this to all the kids tomorrow.
I love it.
Okay.
Let's remember that. When we were leaving and you were saying, okay, we're going now, I was reaching back, hitting the button, and the button we were sending energy to, and I was just seeing energy surging out into all the computers as, wait, I got to hit it some more.
Oh, bam. I love it. And
then I'm like, I'm just going to keep hitting that button all day. Bam, until it breaks. Bam. Right. Okay.
The playful ideas are the most pure, and they're the most
I love sending my energy out. It's all for love, right?